Boxtruck family. I'm Christie.
And I'm Walter.
He's so silly. It is Monday morning. We're just headed back from a very long run. And we just wanted to talk about it. Today was very eventful. In fact, the last 2 days were very eventful. We're going to talk about cancellations, and we're going to talk about those with several stops. So if you're interested in hearing what we have to say, and we hope you can hear us, because we're in this box truck, and the windows are down because it's hot. Maybe we should put the air on, babe. This air gets super cold in here, but we'll put the windows up for now. Interested in hearing what we have to say, stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, you guys. We got a lot of great content coming, and we want you to be a part of our family. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're the first one to know when we post a video. So let's get right into it. Yesterday, which was Saturday night going into Sunday, we had a load going from Jefferson, Georgia to, where were we going yesterday? Somewhere in North Carolina. I can't remember. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. We were going to North Carolina somewhere. It was only like 134 miles or something like that. It was a nice little run. It was only one stop. So we get to Jefferson, where probably like an hour early. We got there at 10:15. Our arrival time was 11:30. So we got there at 10:15. The check-in process was easy peasy. That site didn't require that we got a badge. All you had to do was come on in and park and go in, and they let you in the building, and you can start loading your truck. So after a few minutes, they realized that we went from having 2 items or 2 pallets. I can't remember if she said 2 items or 2 pallets.
Oh, she said 2 items.
That's what I thought she said, 2 items. She said that it was supposed to be like 2 items on our truck that we were taking to North Carolina, but that it disappeared. So she did a little research, and she realized that our load was canceled. They gave us a case ID for the canceled load and told us to call ROC, which is what we did. We went back to our truck. We called ROC, who is your point of contact for communication with these loads, you guys. If the load is canceled, if the load is running late, they're going to call you, or you're going to call them. So we called ROC, who looked in the system and saw that the load had been canceled, but they informed us that they couldn't officially cancel the load until our CPT time, which is a critical pull time. That's the absolute latest that load can be out of the building, and ours was 11:30. So we had to sit there from about 10:30 to 11:30 until our CPT time. As soon as 11:30 hit, we called ROC back, and they went ahead and canceled the load. Now, our load was only like $295, something like that. However, it was canceled, and it was canceled in time for us to get paid. So we were already there when it canceled, and they paid us $175 for the canceled load. So we didn't drive to Jefferson for nothing. It was a 60-mile deadhead to get there, but they did pay us $175. So that's how our cancellation went, and that's just a part of it, right? Like, sometimes you face cancellations. I just appreciate us being able to get paid.
Get get paid. I
Yeah.
appreciate that too. I really do appreciate that. I really do.
So how did you feel about everything that happened at Jefferson with the cancellation and stuff?
Felt good because even though the load got canceled, I got paid. Period. Got paid.
So we had a good attitude. We both had a good attitude about it. We rode up there. The load was canceled. We were able to go home and get some rest and get up the next morning and do some things that we needed to do and try to get that night. So last night, which was Sunday night, we had, I think it was 100 and it wasn't that far either. This was like 140 something miles. This load actually paid $459. It was 100 and might have been 170 miles. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't think it was that much. I think it was 140 something miles. Let's look at your
Okay,
history.
I'm supposed to turn right here, right?
It says Turkey Mountain Road. Yep, turn right here, make a left.
on Turkey Mountain Road Northeast.
It was 148 miles, which wasn't bad. Here was the thing, it was our first experience with a load that had multiple stops. We had 4 stops.
Continue straight for 20 minutes
Now-
to I-75 South.
Let me tell you why 4 stops can be a lot. First of all, when you get to the site, they give you your section and all of your stuff is in that section. It wasn't too bad the night that I went to Montgomery because it was only 1 stop. So everything in that section was going to that 1 post office. But last night we had 4 stops. And so,
Going to 4 different drop-offs.
right, going to 4 different locations. That means you have to think ahead. The first thing you have to do is locate,
And stop.
to figure out what's going to be your last stop, because your last stop needs to go on the truck first. You don't want to just throw the stuff on the truck, because when you get to the first stop, all of that stuff might be at the back of the truck. You got to unload the whole truck, find the stuff and put it and then put everything else back. So you want to figure out the last stop, the one before that one, etc. The first stop should be at the front. So, in a perfect world, when we got there,
The
it would
first
have
stop
been.
should be at the tail end of the truck.
No, the first stop should be at the beginning. Yeah, when you open the door, you should be looking at the first
Stop, right.
Yeah. So, in a perfect world, when we got there, they would have had the pallet set up like that, so we could just put it on the truck. But that wasn't the case. They were just haphazardly lined up, and they were mixed in. So our first stop was at Daresville. Then we went from Daresville to Rosica, Georgia. From Rosica, Georgia to Rock Springs, Georgia. And from Rock Springs, Georgia, we went to Tryon, which is where we're on our way back from now.
So in other words, Triumph was the first thing we put on the truck because it's the last thing we're going to take off.
Absolutely. So here are the difficulties we faced. The first one was they were not organized by stops, so they were all over the place. The second thing was there were a couple of small pallets that just had single items on them. So most of the time, all of the boxes are stacked up according to where they're going. So for instance, if you got 50 boxes that are going to Daresville, then they're all stacked on a pallet and wrapped in saran wrap. So all you have to do is grab the pallet and put it on the truck. But then we had a couple of pallets that just had loose items. They were not all wrapped up and they were not all going to the same place. On that pallet, you had a Daresville, you had Rock Springs, you had Rosica, and you had Tryon. So we had to grab other pallets and then start pallets of items according to where they were going.
So in other words, to make it easier, the first thing we put on the truck, in the nose of the truck, is going to be the last stop.
Right.
So we put the full pallets of the last stop, and every pallet that was full and wrapped up for that last stop, we put that in the nose of the trailer or the truck. And then we went back to that loose pallet that had those different stops on it, and we found all the merchandise that goes with the merchandise that goes to the last stop. Scan it and put it with the last stop, and then we went to the next stop. Got all the full pallets for the next stop. Put them in the trailer for that next stop. Went back to that pallet that was loose. Found the loose ones that they had not wrapped, and put the ones that corresponded with that next stop, and so on until we got to the last stop.
Yeah, so we did that for every stop, and we still wasn't able to get all of the items. There was really too many items, and really probably could have been consolidated. I think the next time, one lesson I think that we had was like being able to condense the load a little bit. So we put a pallet for that first stop, Tryon. We put another pallet on the truck.
Now that was the last stop, Tryon.
Yeah, the last stop was the first items that we put on the truck.
Right.
So we put their pallets on the truck, and then we put an empty pallet and filled it up with loose items. What we probably could have did was like squeeze those loose items in around it and on top of it, so that pallet didn't have to be in there, and we could have made room for another pallet, and we could have did that for the whole load. The associate that checked me out was explaining that you have to condense the load and just try to squeeze it in and around where it needs to go. So maybe that's something we'll try the next time as it works. There were a lot of big bags that went to the post office full of stuff, so it just to us made sense to stack all of those boxes and bags on a pallet. But I don't know, it was just our first time doing multiple loads. As we were leaving, a manager came and asked us some questions. What were our thoughts on why it takes so long to load, and he also wanted to know what causes late departures. So I was able to explain to him how the pallets were all over the place, and especially the loose items were all mixed in together, and you have to take time to separate that stuff and make sense of it when you're putting it on the truck, because if you don't, you're going to have a headache, right, babe?
Yeah, it's a little headache, but it really ain't no headache, cause, you put, just say for instance, Tryon, you put all the full pallets of Tryon in, then you go back to the loose pallet that has maybe a few items that are loose that go into Tryon. You scan the Tryon, those loose pallets, those loose pieces, and you put them with the Tryon pieces that's in the pallet, that's in the nose of the trailer. So it's a process that you gotta learn the process and be efficient with what you're doing.
Right. The whole key to it, what would you say the whole key to being successful with this is? Would you say it's time management or something else?
I'm saying that the whole key to it is that the person who's loading the trailer, the person who has that pallet jack and loading that truck, he needs to know and be coherent with the person who's scanning.
Right. If it's two people, because it could be just one. We did see situations situations where it was one. But in our case, it's two of us.
Yeah, it needs to be two people. That'll make it go quick.
Yeah.
Cause one can scan and one can put the pallets in the truck.
Yeah.
So the person who's scanning has to really be on top of it because if he has to get all the pallets that's going to the first stop
Yeah.
or
So-
whatever stop.
So that was my job tonight to I scanned the products in, help get them separated, and then just filled in wherever needed. My husband loaded and unloaded the truck, and I helped when needed. But my main job was to scan, try to I'm learning how to keep it organized, making sure we check in and out on time. So I think we worked good together as a team tonight, didn't we? What you think? Huh? Let me get your face on that.
I really, well, that was yeah, we worked pretty good.
There was some hiccups.
Long as I got paid, man, that's all I need. I need to get paid. Period. Need to get paid, man.
There was some hiccups. At times I tried to be more helpful than he needed me to be. And I don't know what I'm doing, but I do try to help.
But she gonna know how to wire though. She definitely gonna know.
So we just wanted to tell you how our night was, you guys, and let you know like what you can face as you start your box truck journey. Like it, you just gotta be organized in your thinking. And I think time management is a key to being successful with this Amazon relay because it's important to them that you're on time. That makes a difference in how you're rated with them, your performance scores. That makes a difference in how quickly you see the lows. If you have a good performance score, you're the first to see the lows. But if you don't, you get the bottom of the barrel and the lowest amount paid lows. So yeah, time management is important. It's real. I couldn't get my husband to speak about it. He didn't talk about it, but he understands and he agrees. Like it's important to be on time. It's important to be quick so that you can get loaded and get out of there
And get paid.
so that you can get paid. So I hope that this video was helpful, just sharing our experience of what helped, of how things went with us. It was really our first time. This week is a week of first, right? We did our first load ever. Then we did our first Amazon load ever. Then the next night we had our first cancellation ever. And then tonight we had our first multiple loads, multiple stops in one load. So we're learning, you guys. And as we continue to learn and we become more proficient, we'll have more to add to the journey. If you have questions though, in the meantime, make sure that you put them down in the comment section and we'll answer those questions or we'll get the answer. Or it might even help us to realize some ways to make this job easier. But I hope that it was helpful. I didn't get any video. We were just focused on getting this job done. So I didn't really get any video, but we're going to keep these videos coming. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Man, it's really important that you do that because that helps us to get more views, to get more exposure, to get monetized, to get paid. So
Yeah, to get paid.
that part.
Right.
So we appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for watching this video. Thanks for subscribing, liking, commenting, and even sharing this with your friends. And we'll see you guys in the next video, okay?
She's Christie and I'm Walter.
Bye, y'all.